Alright guys, how well can you hear me? Let's get going. It's 8:45 a.m. Thank you for tuning in to the Fox with Stocks channel. And thank you, Guy, for commenting on our music. Yeah, I just found them. I like that music today that we found. Alrighty, So we're going to go a little bit offbeat today. I've got something fun for you guys. Where is that? There we go. Hey, you can see me now. Live in Bali. Got my Zelda shirt on. Alright, let's get started. Hey, so check it out. This last weekend I had a little bit of fun. It was obviously a Memorial weekend for you guys. And I went online onto the Facebook groups and I said, hey, I can't sit on the sidelines any longer. Nothing's going to stop me. Remember, this is Sunday. Tomorrow, nothing is going to stop me from selling puts and buying calls on GME. Who's with me? About 15 people liked and laughed at the comment. At the post. A few people, I'm not sure if they got it or if not, but still, it created a bit of engagement. And everyone's saying market being closed is going to stop you. No one, hopefully, yada yada. But I just did it for the lulz. And it's one of those jokes that it might have been so clever. It might have been so clever that people just think I'm stupid. And I obviously knew that the market was closed, but it's just one of those jokes that might have gone over people's heads. And then Robinhood definitely went over their heads. Only one person even liked it, and the comment is, selling puts is too expensive for me. So he didn't get the joke at all. Probably didn't even know that the market was closed. And just to let people know that I really knew the market's being closed, I had this follow-up joke. Worst day of my life so far. To cheer you up, my friends gave me this coupon. Expires today, so I gotta go. Again, that's Sunday, Memorial weekend. So anyway, I had a huge laugh at it. I don't know how well it translates after the fact, but it was really funny. So hey, I want to talk about living in Bali, because I want to make this channel more than just talking about stocks and trading stocks. I want to share the wisdom that I have with living overseas. And I'm talking about Bali, but it really could be a bunch of other places. You have a similar experience, similar cost of living in South America, Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, Philippines, Colombia, etc. So in America, really looking at rent, and I'm kind of like basing this off of a single person. So your rent probably going to be $700 to $2,000 a month, depending on how nice it is and where it is. Groceries, maybe you'll spend $400 or $500 a month. It's been a while since I've been in the U.S., so if I'm off, you guys let me know. Cell phone, going to be somewhere between $50 and $100, so I average it to $75. Gasoline, depending on how far you live, what type of car you drive, it'll be about $300, $200 a month. Electricity, easy to get $300 a month in Florida, especially during the summer, running the AC. Internet, I like fast internet, so I'm going to get $100 a month. And then food and beverage, eating out. You can't just eat at home all the time. You want to hang out with your friends. So you really need, I feel like, probably about $3,000 a month to survive. And you can obviously do things like sharing apartments and getting the cost down. But then how much staff can you afford? Not much. How close will you be to the beach or to the mountains or wherever you want to be? Probably pretty far. Here in Bali, I can rent what's called a cost. I can rent an elite cost or upgraded cost, which is studio apartment with aircon, maybe even a mezzanine, for about $200-300 a month, and you can get a full villa, rice field view with a pool right now in COVID for $700 a month. This used to be double, but you can go further out and still find those villas. But I happen to be really close to the beach. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, but you could get the rent down to $200 a month if you wanted to, and still be pretty nice, but it'd be small. It'd be a studio apartment with or without a pool. Groceries, I can spend about $200 a month here. My cell phone, huge savings, $7 a month versus 75. Gas, $20 a month. That is monthly. Okay, I'm also using a motorcycle. Yeah, I have no idea, guy. Actually, I do know. It's a polyopoly. There's only 3 major carriers. Metro PCS started out as another minor carrier, and then they got bought out. Basically, they just buy out any competition that comes, and the U.S. does nothing to break up or stop triopolies. So as long as you're not they'll break you up if you're a monopoly, single-opoly, but if you're a duopoly, triopoly, they kind of leave you alone. You can charge as much as you want, and so everyone just raises the rates to the same baseline. So in Bali, even if I'm running my AC full time and have a pool pump and have a water pump that I got to pay for, I'm spending about $100 a month. My internet is actually still $100 a month because I'm paying for the best internet I can get here. It might be cheaper, but food and beverage, I spend about $300 a month, and I'm still eating international. I'm still eating really good. So I'm spending only $1,250 for the same lifestyle. I want to make sure that I'm making sure that's clear. I'm trying to compare apples to apples. I'm saying if you had the same lifestyle as I'm living here in Bali in the US, not counting the distance to the beach, I'm saving about 65%. This lets me also afford my staff, personal assistant who helps me out. I don't speak the local language. Some things are easier with the personal assistant. I have a maid, cleans 3 times a week. I don't have a nanny because I don't have kids, but if you wanted a nanny, if you had kids, I would want that. If I had kids, I couldn't imagine it raising them without a nanny. I'd always want to raise them someplace I could afford a nanny. And again, my distance to the beach here is 5 minutes, which makes a huge difference, because if you feel like going and it's 30 minutes away and it's 30 minutes back and you're only going to go for a 30-minute sunset, you sometimes don't go. When it's 5 minutes away, you don't make those decisions. So this could be your lifestyle on the left, big city, lots of people, blah, blah, blah. Here, this is literally what it looks like and feels like in Canggu. I think this is actually, I know where this club is. This is on Echo Beach. This is the difference. So do you want to live here or do you want to live here? It's your choice. And then you say, well, what about the food? I don't want to eat Indonesian food every day. Okay, then don't. You know, as long as you stick to places where there's lots of expats and tourists, you're going to have amazing international food, especially because a lot of our restaurants are owned by the Australians. The Australians have fantastic taste in food. You can eat super healthy, you can have salads, you can have fruit salads, you can go American, you can get Pizza Hut, in fact, if you want. You can have other American foods, you can have barbecue ribs, you can have this Indian roti, it's really cheap. These scallops are delicious. Beef jerky, they finally have a beef jerky place. That was one of the things that was missing, and now we have amazing American-style beef jerky, dried style. You can have everything you want, right? You want burgers? We've got amazing burgers. You want pizza? Okay. That's actually, there's one place that I know of that has New York style pizza, whereas most everything here is the Italian style pizza, which you can tell from the crust here. I prefer the New York American style pizza, and there's one place I still have yet to try. So international foods here in Bali. I know you guys are tuning in for stocks, but I want to make this a more rounded program, so that you guys know that you can trade stocks anywhere in the world, and then you can also reduce your cost of living while still having a fantastic lifestyle. International Foods, a great, fantastic Greek place, has the best lamb gyros ever. That's the pita. Italian food, American burgers, steaks, pizza, sushi, Japanese ramen, Japanese barbecue, Korean barbecue, actually fantastic place, 30 minutes away, all you can eat sides, just pay for the meat. You go in there, I spend about $10, less if I do it as a group of people. One of the best meals I've ever had in my life. Brazilian barbecue, vegan, lots of vegetarian options here, lots of health nuts here. So there's tons of options there. Salad bars, Indian, Mexican, English pub, it's got it all. Okay, if you've never been to Bali, you don't know what it is, maybe you see some pictures, okay? There's different zones. You're down here, this is mostly for surfers down here. It's a bit more, it's actually got a lot of hills. It's got like a lot of cliffs and hills and the ocean facing the cliffs. This is where you go if you're an expert surfer. If you're an expert surfer, or a lot of expats with families, or if they marry locals, they end up down here for some reason. Here's the airport. If you go north of here, maybe this is like, will you give you a bad impression about Bali? If you see pictures from here, this is where the bogans go. Bogans are the Australian white trash. So that's where all the drugs and the partying and stuff, if that's going to happen, it's going to happen in that area, okay? Just north of there, though, between Kuta and Umulas is a place called Batu Balik and Seminyak. That has the best food deals in town, so I want to live closer to there. I live here in Brawa, and there's lots of expats. Expats are expatriates, people who live outside of their country. They're not tourists. If you come farther to the west, you get Canggu, you get a lot of tourists there and a lot of surfers. And this is where beginner surfers are good here and beginner surfers at Kuta. You do not want to be a beginner surfer in Uluwatu. And if you come over here, this is Sanur, lots of retirees. If you're over 40, 50, and 60, this is where you want to be. You don't want to be next to all these crazy, wild young people. I think that's all I put together on the slideshow today. We're gonna go past that and jump to stocks now. That took us only 10 minutes. That was pretty good. But if you have any questions about living in Bali and trading stocks while anywhere in the world, you know, I want to make this a channel and a place where you can talk about that. So feel free to ask questions. Today's hot topic: why growth stocks for the amazing wheel strategy? Because you can wheel. I've actually started to think about this. You can wheel at least 3 different ways, and I mean that's what I'm seeing on the forums. That's what I'm seeing. Looks like my internet died for a bit. That's what I'm seeing on Facebook. Is people who are talking about doing the wheel. Can you guys hear me? It looks like my internet is cutting in and out. Can you guys hear me? Oh, I hope it's going okay. We just paid the internet too, so I know it's not that. I mean, I know it's not cut off for lack of payment. All right, you can still hear me, David? Thank you. Yeah, that says status good there, but the music was cutting in and out. All right, let's go. You guys, if you can't hear me, make sure you start typing in the chat room right away. Anyway, so back to why growth stocks and what I call the 3 types of the wheel, or 3 different ways to look at the wheel. If I'm on Facebook, I'm seeing people wheeling AMC, GME, and any other meme stock that just has high volatility, but basically they're wheeling trash. They're wheeling what I call hand grenades. We talked about that last time. And this is like the super dangerous high yield strategy. And the problem I have with this, if you're gonna go high yield, really go high yield. Why not? I'm actually seeing no data now. I'm gonna cut the music off. I'm seeing no data on my stream. I think my live stream is stopped. Can you guys hear me? Did it cut out there for a while? All right, anyway, I'm going to try and keep going. No, I see a damn wheel again. My internet must be bad right now. I'm going to reload. You guys with me? Can you hear me? Internet might be kind of bad today. Internet bad. Cutting out, right? I did hit reload. And I'm going to have to do something else about the music. I don't have any music stored to my phone either. Oh. If I take that off the Wi-Fi and put music on the phone. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat room. We are having technical issues. I apologize. That is one of the downsides of living on an island. Oscar says thumbs up. I guess you can hear me. It was definitely not playing the music correctly for a bit. No copyright. Rock. Anyway, so be careful if you're just going out there and you're new to the wheel and you see somebody else wheeling with GME and then they're closing it early 2 days later. You know, they're opening it up on a Wednesday and they're closing it on Friday. That is not the wheel, if you ask me. That is not the wheel. That is scalping, but they're scalping with options. They're not scalping with stocks. Nor like they're basically day trading using options. And what doesn't make sense to me is that you could do that, but you might as well do it with a leveraged credit spread and get massive upside instead of getting, you know, $5, $10 or $50 or whatever they're getting. It doesn't make sense to me to take that type of risk. Well, for me, the way I use the wheel strategy is to do safer stocks. I want to do companies. Again, it says no data. Okay, I'm just going to ignore it and hope that it's working. Please let me know if it cuts out, if I skip or miss anything. David says he dropped out for a few seconds. I did hit reload, but I keep seeing no data and warning and all this other stuff. Anyway, second way to do the wheel strategy is on super safe stops. You can do it on blue chips. You can do it on high dividend stocks. If I were actually doing it on a retirement account that I needed monthly income out of, I would probably do that, or at least consider part of my portfolio doing that. Why do I choose growth stocks? So number one, I'm younger. I still have a few working years if I were to actually lose any money. But I think actually important to me is it's hard to figure out where the market truly is, what's really truly a fair price. And I have a philosophy that, hey, if I run this wheel strategy on a growth stock and I'm off on the price and the price comes back down, it will eventually grow back to its previous price. So by trading growth stocks, I get higher volatility, which leads to higher monthly ROI, and even if the stock drops, it's going to hopefully grow itself back up into it. If a blue chip drops, think about this. If a blue chip stock were to drop 10% and you were to get assigned, let's say you were selling 5 or 10% out of the money, that's because something went wrong. Right? That's because something happened or changed or shifted with that company. It's not a normal oscillation for a blue chip stock or a company with really good dividends to drop 10%. It's okay if it's a market event like COVID and then the market comes back up, but if it's just your stock, if it's just your company, that's probably the new price. That's the new trading range because something bad happened. Whereas growth stocks, you can have that oscillation and it comes back down and then it's going to go back up again. That's the theory. That's what I've been doing and why I like to do it. Hey, a little bit about us. I do this channel not just to help you guys make money and hopefully make more money myself, but also I want to tell people about the SENS organization. It is a non-profit that works on curing aging. Curing aging, I know it sounds like science fiction. Let's make it science fact. They are making progress on it, and they've actually spun off different products out of the nonprofit organization into fundable, investable products that are helping people on the market. So I want you guys to check them out if you're ever looking for anybody to give money back to, because think about it. If you make all this money, what is the point? You can't take it with you if you die. Well, let's go ahead and fix that. Let's stop dying. How about that? Other thing I want to say is we do have a sponsor, an affiliate. Check out theoptionsoracle.com. That's The Options Oracle. You must include the word "the" in there. Theoptionsoracle.com. They've been doing the wheel strategy since 2009. They put out a monthly newsletter. It's a 30-day free trial, so there's no risk. Just sign up, give it a shot. And if you make money, use that money to actually pay for your membership. The membership is $97 a month, and they give you the trades. They do all of the research, and then they literally give you the trades. I've been using them for over a year. So let's jump into this. We've got mostly regulars, but you know what? I know some people who are beginners who are going to come check us out. I'm going to very quickly, it's 9:03, go through the wheel strategy with you guys in case you are a beginner coming back to us, or coming to us for the first time, I should say. This will be so much easier once I get my braces off. The amazing wheel strategy. You start by finding a stock that you like. For example, a growth stock, Space, Virgin Galactic, Tesla. Tesla's expensive, but it can work. Not AMC, not GME, not stuff with bad fundamentals and trashy, dangerous companies. You find a good stock, and then you write a cash-covered put. Writing, what does that mean? It means we're creating the contract. It's not complicated. This is a standard contract. It's a couple clicks of a button inside of your trading platform. Literally, let's go ahead and show you that real quick. If I can bring this up. Oh, I did not want to bring up interactive brokers. Get out of here. Anyway, if you come in here, here's the bid column on NVIDIA, which is one of the things we're going to be looking at, and you click on the 26 in the bid column. That's it. That's all you got to do. You've literally are in the process of creating that contract that somebody else is going to buy from you. Hit review and send. It ties up some of your cash and it writes the contract. It is not complicated. There's nothing to notarize. All right, it's not like a real. It's not like a real contract. It's a contract that's digital. It's held by the broker and it's standardized, so it's fungible. Anyway, you're creating the contract that you are guaranteeing that somebody else that you will set aside cash in your brokerage and you will buy the stock if it goes down to the strike price. And for doing that, you get paid a premium. How much premium? Depends on the volatility of the stock and how long you're going to do the contract for. So the longer you do the contract and the higher the volatility, the more premium you collect. It's just like selling insurance. It's just like selling insurance on a stock. Just like you would sell life insurance to a person or car insurance on a car, you're selling insurance on a stock. As long as it doesn't occur, when you sell insurance, you don't want the person to die and you don't want the car to crash. You want to just collect those premiums and for the insurance to expire. If it expires, you collect the profit and then you do it again. And you collect the profit, do it again, collect the profit, do it again. If it actually does go down in price, then you get assigned the shares. This is why we do it on growth stocks that we like. This is like insuring the healthiest person in the room. All right? You get the stocks if you get assigned. Now, what can you do with those stocks? You can turn around and write a covered call, just like you're writing a covered put. Covering a put costs cash. Covering a call takes stocks. So you either have cash or you have stocks, and you can cover it puts or calls, okay? Now you do that, and the same thing. You're ensuring that if the price goes up, that somebody can buy it away from you. Really, you're helping them kind of gamble, or you're helping them leverage up their account, okay? And if it doesn't happen, let's say today it's trading at $40, you're selling the $44 put. If it goes to 43, in 30 days, your option expires, you get to collect and keep all that premium. It's beautiful. You keep the premium and you keep the stock. If you like the company, that's great. And you just made $3 on the stock going up, plus whatever premium you got, you turn around, instead of selling the 44, maybe now you sell the 47. You keep doing it at different valuations. You keep collecting premium. Maybe it gets taken away from you. It doesn't matter. It's a higher valuation. So let's say you sold that. Today it's trading at 40. You bought it at 40 because you sold a put on it. You sell a covered call for 44. Boom, it hits 44. It gets taken away from you. You get the premium and you get the $4 in appreciation. It's just like if you were putting in a sell order. If you were just putting in a sell order and you're saying, hey, if this goes to 44, sell. It's just like that. You just sold it and you got the $4 from 44, okay? But every time it doesn't sell, you get to keep the premium. You collect the premium. Instead of it just sitting there doing nothing, you're actually making money every single month, okay? The wheel strategy is a management strategy. I mean, it's not a spread. If you're a beginner, let me know in the comments. We'll talk about it more. But I want you to understand that the wheel strategy is a management strategy. You start by selling a cash covered put. Then if you get assigned, you write a covered call. If you get assigned, you write a cash covered put. You just keep going it back and forth. It's a plan of action on what to do depending upon where the price goes. I know we're going through this very fast, but it is 9:08, and I want to get through this just for the beginners. If you skip the fundamentals with the wheel, you can lose. If you're greedy and you choose good setups over good companies, you're going to get hurt, okay? Do the research. Prioritize good setups on good companies. Put them both together. Manage properly. Don't get too big on your position sizes. Select companies in different sectors. I'm getting better at number 5, okay? Day trading is a scam. It is a day job. That is my belief, and I tell it to all my friends and family. Okay, if you've read the cash flow quadrant, you know I stands for an investor. An investor leverages their time and money to make money. A day trader requires, if you're doing it properly, is going to take 8 to 12 to 16 hours a day because you are honing a skill like a basketball player. You cannot be half in if you're a day trader. Now, if you get addicted to trading, it can be a lot of fun, okay? I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm not saying it's not a great job, but it is a job. And if we're investing, we're trying to get out of jobs, okay? You can do the wheel strategy part-time. You can do it 1 day a week, 2 days a week, a couple hours a week, a couple hours a day. You can set your schedule to what's comfortable with you. So why do we wheel? It's convenient. It takes less time. It's repeatable. It has compound growth strategy. You can make 2 to 5% a month. That's not an exaggeration. You have downside protection. I can show you how we're going to do that. We're going to talk about that with NVIDIA today, okay? We've also got a couple other stocks we're going to look at, including Space, Virgin Galactic again. You can limit your trades to good companies. We've talked about that. And high probability. This is something you don't get with stocks. When you buy a stock, you have no idea if it's going to go up, going to go down, 50-50 either way. When you're doing options, there is mathematical formulas that's included in your broker that will tell you what is the probability of profit of that option expiring for you. If you're buying, is it going to go above your strike price? If you're selling, will it not go above that strike price, okay? Blah, blah, blah. Quick refresher. We don't need to do that. We've already gone through this so quickly, okay? let's jump right into it. So today I want to look at NVIDIA. They just announced the contract with Tesla. You get $26.25 at the money, but this is a very expensive stock at $650 a share. And I want to jump in and see what they're doing. Pre-market. Pre-market, they were up. Okay, now they're back down again. This was up $1 before I started the show. Now they're down $1. Beware of buy the rumor, sell the news. So people will be taking their profits possibly, okay? But if you wanted to do this, it's going to be hard to wheel NVIDIA because it's such an expensive stock. So instead, maybe we do the 635. That's $15 below. Yeah, and this is, you can see there's a trading range, a nice floor to the price here at 644. Sorry, that's the 1 day. Let's come back to the 1 month. No, okay, 625 is the floor on our previous trading range. So if we wanted to do that, okay, it doesn't matter. We can come down here to the 625, for example, and you're going to see that this would take up $60,000 in your capital to try and make 1,550. So this is not a good wheel strategy because you're not going to get good return on capital. With an expensive stock like this, you'd be better off looking at making a a credit spread, a credit put spread. The C was throwing me off because it sounds just like a cash secured put, but it's a credit put spread. And the way you do that is you simultaneously sell the 625 and buy a lower strike price. Now, here's the danger of this situation. As long as this stays above 625, and we can come look at the curve analysis, okay, as long as this stays above the strike price, you're going to collect full premium. But as soon as you go below that, you're going to lose money. And the problem, the difference between a credit spread and the wheel strategy is that you don't want to, you won't own the shares, okay? If it goes too low, you will not own the shares and you cannot ride it out and wait for it to go back up again. You would have to roll, you'd have to manage correctly. If it falls between the 625 and 607, you will own the shares and you'll basically have a wheel strategy, okay? But you have to buy those shares. But if it falls below 607, you're just going to lose money and you're out of the trade, basically. Guy can tell you more about it. He's actually a big fan of the credit spreads. I mostly stick to the wheel for that reason. I want to own the shares if things go bad, because then I can wait for it to go back up and claw my way back out. All right, let's go take a look at space, SPCE. I don't talk a lot about the news on our channel, but if you hadn't heard, Virgin Galactic has successfully tested a shuttle with, I think, 7 people recently. So if you didn't know, in December, they were trying to do a test flight. There was electromagnetic interference from their own devices that caused it a failure to properly ignite the rocket. So they took the plane up, and then there was that problem. They couldn't ignite the rocket, and so they had to, well, they failed that test flight. Then they were going to do another one, like I think in February, and that got pushed back. And that's, then Chamath sold, then Branson sold. They had to miss the test flight. So it was a $60 stock and then came tumbling back down. For a long time, this stock was trading between 18 and 25, and I was wheeling this and making a bunch of money. Then it shot up to 60. I did a few plays in there. But anyway, that's the news that I want to talk about. They successfully did their test flight, okay? Richard Branson, it was a big news when Richard Branson sold shares. It looked like he was exiting the company. Turns out, I mean, that's the headlines, right? And so when you see those types of headlines, obviously you sell because you know that the market is going to sell, all right? And then later the truth sort of comes out and dwindles, drips out later that he still owns like 24% of the company, or 24 million shares, like a bunch, a lot. So this has been bopping around the $28 to $30 range, and there's a pretty good premium on this. Yeah, so if you sell the $24 put, this is my scanner that I had made. If you sell the $24 put, you can collect $1.18 in premium, okay, you'll get a 5% return in 23 days, or you'd end up owning it at $22.82, which is a previous low mid-range for this stock, okay? After the news came out that they did their test flight successfully, it's basically gone up from the $19 to $22 trading range to the $28 to $30 trading range. So you'd be back to the previous trading range as long as it doesn't go below, even if it goes below $24 a share. So this, I think, is a good company and a good stock to wheel on because it's a growth company. It's going to have a lot of upside potential in the future. Richard Branson is a big name. He can easily raise money. He can easily get more investors. He can easily go to the banks, okay? There's a lot of good reasons to be investing in this type of company. They've also got a ton of great engineers, which means they're going to have different types of patents and products that spin off out of the company. There's a lot of good reasons to look at this company and to consider doing a wheel, selling a cash secured put. Now, before we started the show, I was looking at the market. Unfortunately, I don't really like a lot of what else is on there, so I'm mostly managing my positions. The only thing I'm really looking at opening up that I think so far is space. That's the only one that I might be willing to do. And apps. Actually, I like apps a lot. They made me a bunch of money very quickly. Let's take a look at them. But besides those two companies, I've not seen anything else pop up on my scanners for us to go look at, which is okay. I've used up a lot of my buying power anyway. And so I'm ready. I'm happy. I'm happy to let the positions that are open play out and just let them roll, right? Just let them go. All right, I want to see if there's any other price action or news on Digital Turbine. They are an app company that puts stuff on the phones, and they help people track conversions and all this other stuff. They had a good earnings report, if I remember right. So this guy points it out. They had 25 cents per share. The analysts expected 19 cents per share. That's obviously a 6 cents difference, which is 31% difference. And up 400% compared to last year, where they were only 5 cents. So they've basically quintupled that. So a lot of good news for apps. They are up in the pre-market, so we probably will have a hard time getting filled if we put in anything. By the way, it is 9:18. We've got 12 minutes before the opening bell. Let's go take a look at the monthly chart. They had a bit of a dip before. I think this is before earnings. May 26th was their earnings, yep. So they hit a low of 55.82, and then they've climbed back up. They're kind of at a high mark here, but not compared to May 3rd. Okay. But this is a company I'm interested in, and space. Virgin Galactic is a company I'm interested in doing. If I'm going to open up any two positions today, those are the two that I've picked out so far. And you can see here I've got a few other options on space. This one is 2 weeks later. You go 2 weeks out, you get a slightly lower strike price. You'll get more on the bid. That gives you a better break even and puts you in 37 days on this. I kind of like that. I might do that. And then here, you can see our POP. For the new people, that is probability of profit. So if I were to put on this trade, for example, in 23 days, I would have a 76.7% chance of being right, of getting all my premium and not getting assigned the shares. Now, how does it calculate this? It does not take into effect of the news. It doesn't know about the owner of the company. It doesn't know about what the company's mission is. This probability is based purely on the trading history of this stock, of these stock options, so the stock price and the stock options. Okay, how often would this expire worthless compared to how it normally behaves and oscillates? So you take your fundamental knowledge, the research that you've done in the company, and you combine it with the probability of profit to come up with your own estimation of how successful or what the odds of success are for doing this trade. This is why I love options. you can set up these beautiful tri-directional trades. So if it goes up, you make money. If it goes sideways, you make money. And if it goes down but doesn't go below your strike price, you still make money, and you have a very, very high chance of being right. Hey, the one thing I do want to look at is I want to see if I come out further out. There's no 90-day option here, and there's actually no 60-day option, so let's look at 44 days out. Same strike price. If we were to do this 23 and a half, okay, it doesn't exist. We'll do the 23 only. We'll get $1.77. Here, if we do July 9th, we'll get $1.52, so it's better to go to July 9th, in my opinion. 23.50, 152, and that is the lowest. That is the bid. Now let's just check the price pre-market to make sure. It is down a little bit. They might not have many catalysts coming to boost the price up. I'm okay with owning more shares. We've only got 9 minutes to make this decision, so let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to clear that out again, and I'm going to see if I can squeeze out a few more cents, because we've got 30 cents spread on the bid ask at the 23.50. I think we can get at least another 10 cents out of this, so I'm going to put that in. Just checking everything. Yep, okay. And if we're right, we'll make $160 after fees. If we're wrong, we'll own some more shares at $21.88 a share. I like that price, so I'm putting in that order because I already have some space shares. I wish I had more because I have them at about $20 a share, and this was at $30 recently. All right, let's go check out apps. This is saying if you do the $60 put, you'll get $2.80 in credit. That's 4.6% in 30 days. Okay. By the way, we have a watch list. And basically every company that I like, that I've really looked at, goes on to this, and we look at their fundamental research. This is what we're mostly tracking in here. And then we give a rating to how good its fundamentals are. So I want to check out where apps was. Space is actually kind of low. They didn't have a lot of cash on hand, which is why we gave them that. And then they had a big topsy-turvy event with that test flight. If that didn't work out, then that was going to go very, very badly. I'm going to bump these guys up to a 3 now that the test flight is over. And this reminds me to go look at their cash statement, which might not have changed because we don't have another earnings report out. Yeah, that's why we did it, because they lost $445 in December annual quarterly report, and then lost $129 here. So that creates a dangerous runway. But you know what? They've got a successful test flight, so we are going to factor that into our analysis, and we're going to say that they're doing pretty good. And they've only got 44% debt ratio. So after a successful test flight, I think they could very easily raise capital either through investors or through banks. So this runway, I'm going to ignore it, even though it is small. I want to bump that up to a 4, but not a 5. Okay. And the other one I was looking at is apps. I did not do the research on the apps. So let's go ahead and do that now. Oh man, it feels weird not having the music. I'm going to see if I can turn the music on now, see if the internet has fixed itself. Hope you guys can still hear me okay. Not much action in the live chat today, guys. Feel free to ask questions, give comments. Do you guys like space? Are any of you following my trades? Are any of you guys doing Virgin Galactic today? Following along with my trade? All right. The debt ratio looks okay-ish. It's a little bit above 50%, maybe 55. 52% basically. Okay, this sounds like a breakup music. Like, you shouldn't have to do that if it's copyright free. Excuse me. 52% on the debt ratio. They are net positive for the last 4 quarters. This means that we give them 100 on the runway. Earnings were recent. Earnings were May 26. We don't know when the next one is. So that was 7 days ago. Revenue year over year, 145 and 103. I just want to make sure that the other side is updating it correctly or fast enough. Total assets 232. Total debt 19 versus 184. There's the total debt there, but not the liabilities of accounts payable and other stuff. Bum, 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 bum. This is the exciting part of trading stocks. It's not like what they show in the movies, right? Anyway. Fantastic revenue growth, 103 and 145. Excuse me, 135 on quarterly. That gives them a 5 on the rating. So we could do the $60 put on apps. It's going to tie up a bunch of cash on hand though. It's the only thing I'm worried about on that. We've got 2 minutes before the opening bell. Do want to remind you before you go and manage your positions, do check out theoptionsoracle.com and SENS, that's SENS.org. You make more money with the Options Oracle and live longer with SENS. That sounded pretty good, right? So 16 days has the highest implied volatility, but that's going to not get much theta decay. Not much time to let it expire. July 2nd is 30 days out. Implied volatility 96. That's better than going 7 days out and having lower volatility by 6%. That is a crazy spread of 280 and 5. And they're up in the pre-market, right? They're at 70.35 in the pre. That's right where they shows it. We might have to just wait for the market to open and see what happens. If we do this, we're going to tie up. Well, we are getting some margin on this. If you're trading the wheel in a margin account, you'll get 50%-ish. Yeah, basically 50% on the margin. So we'll be tying up 2,000 to try and make 280. Dog's curling up under the shelf. She's such a cutie. Excuse me. All right, the horses are out of the gate. Yep, all right, we got filled on space. We actually made 7 more cents. I said 162, we got 169. Not much open interest on this apps at the July 2nd, 30 days out. That spread is coming down though. It's 185 to 260. Remember, we're at 280 to 5. So we would not have gotten filled at the 280. Most likely not. All right, let's go manage some positions and we'll come back to apps in a second. My puts on AI are doing great. AI shot up like $10 in the last couple of days. I could close this early. I probably should. It's got 44 days to go, but it's not. It's got crazy. The spread is still really wide. Actually, that's the one I bought, so we don't want to close that one out. Excuse me. But I get 50% of my money on that one. I had a bunch of other positions there that have already taken off the board on that one. ARC-G, I sold the 89 call after I got assigned my shares. We're at 81. BNGO, we got the $5 put. That's still in our favor. Got 44 days to go. I'd have to check it. I think that one's a rolled one. I'd have to check it to make sure if I wanted to close that one. Clean Spark, 1250 put. 85, can close it for probably 25. 16 days left to go. Just gonna let it ride. Disney, there's a lot of margin on that one, so it really wasn't tying up much cash. You can get good. You can get good ROI and ROC on Disney because of how much margin you have. You just have to be willing to do margin. That's up to you to decide. Margin can be scary. 79 days to go. I could close this early for a couple $100. Now think about closing that early. Geo got assigned, selling the $7 call. If I can close that for nothing, I'll close that for nothing. Sold it for 20. If I can close for 2 cents, I'll do that. GRWG, that's my hydroponics stock, because cannabis should be massive in the next 5 years. We sold the $44 put. We're actually $2 in the money, and yet I could close it for $5 in profit. That's that IV crush working on in our favor, and there's not much time left on it, so there's not much time for this to really tank below the 44. They paid me 7 and I could buy it back for 3. INO, that's very tempting. I probably should do this. I kind of just don't mind if I get... Problem is I want cannabis stocks in my sector. I want the cannabis sector in my portfolio. Yeah, I'm supposed to close this. I get $400 if I close this. GRWG, closing that early. And I think it got filled right at where I put it. Yep, filled exactly at $2.99. Kodak, I got assigned on those. I need it to get back up to $10 to get out of it with a profit. It was closer before. I probably should have just took a little bit of a loss and got out of it. You know, data, I'm in at 3. It's at 630. I think that one had huge potential. I have to look that one up again. But when I researched it, I just want to buy and hold. Mara, I sold the $18 put and the $21 put. Those are way out of the money now. Such a volatile stock though, they still got some juice on them. I'm just going to let those decay. MU, this is another margin, good ROC, return on capital. But if you're not doing margin, it will probably tie up a bunch of capital for you guys. Fantastic company. That's probably another buy and hold company, MU. And Bev, I got 100 shares, 234. They're just squeaking up a little bit. Poly, I sold the $35 call. It's moving up. That's okay if it gets taken out. I'll take the appreciation and go with it. That's junk. Here's a $32 put on Riot. It's still got 23 days left. I sold it for $9. Even though it's in the money, I could buy it back for $4.70. I probably should, just like I did with the other company, GRWG. Isn't that crazy, guys? Even if you're wrong in a direction, it goes against you, goes in the money, you can still take advantage of this IV crush when doing wheel options and close it for massive profits. Which we're going to do. Try and get. Last time I did it right at the mid, it got filled right away. I'll go a little bit lower. Let's see if that goes. Sage $50 put. That's deep out of the money. I could close it, but I'd only get about 50%. I got 16 days left to go. Yep, I got filled right again at what I put. I didn't get any extra, but 460. They came down and snagged me. So Riot is closed out on those puts. Filling up my accounts with money. I like that. I've got puts on Space at 23, 21, and I bought calls way back in the day before all the negative news with Chamath, Branson, and the failed test flight at a $60 call. But I bought that as a leap. I got 233 days for that to play out. Definitely don't want to close that early. I take a $900 loss per contract. Plenty of time to let that play out. All right, but these are going great. Tesla, down again, $5 down today. He needs to quit tweeting about Doge and Bitcoin and get back to work. Love the company over the next 5 years. But if you're going to buy and hold Tesla, I would do it as leaps or cash account, not in margin. That's my only regret, was doing it in a margin account. Actually, it worked out for me. I made more money, but it does not decrease the stress level. All right, we've managed those. Let's go back, take a look at apps. We got 9:38 on the clock. We've only got 7 more minutes till I'm signing out. Not a lot of conversation with you guys today. Make sure that if you have any questions, you let us know. Let me know. And let me know what you guys are looking at. I'm just going to read up on apps since no one's asking any questions. Fourth quarter revenue of $95 million. It's 142% annual growth. 2021 revenue of $313 million. Increases their annual growth 126% compared to last year. Blah, blah, blah. CEO says fiscal 2021 was a breakout year for Digital Turbine. We accelerated our revenue growth amid unprecedented global demand for our applications media and content media offerings. At the same time, we clearly demonstrated the compelling operating leverage inherent in our platform business model, as evidenced by a more than 4-fold year-over-year increase in our non-GAAP adjusted EBITDA to $22.5 million, and a more than 5-fold year-over-year non-GAAP earnings per share to 25 cents per share. So it looks like they're merging the combination of Digital Turbine, Appreciate, AdColony, and Fiverr position us as a company with greater than $1 billion in profitable annualized revenue. Full ad tech scale combined with our independent approach and unique on-device technology provide us with the opportunity to significantly increase our share of the 300 plus billion mobile media advertising market. So he's saying, hey, we're going to become $1 billion company, but this is a $300 billion market. We've still got plenty of room to grow. We're merging with all these other rivals. All right, we did free up some cash with that closing of Riot. So maybe I should really look into opening up this apps position. We're looking at the July 2nd. Was looking at the 60. They are down only 31 cents. They were at 75, then they came down to 57 before earnings, then they popped back up to 67. They're at 67.50, 67.45. They opened at 69, so they're down a little bit today. I don't have any reason to believe this will go down below 60. Revenue looks great. Cash on hand was great. Profitable company. Yeah, we should do this. We're just not getting the 280 that our scanner showed. So we're going to have to figure out our numbers here. Ugh. We might not do anything. Well, if we open this for 2, if we sell this for 2 and buy but 1, the 56 for 1, we should end up with 103 in credit, like it says. We'll be making $100 for every $300 that we risk. If we get filled. If we get filled. The spread is 205 to 320. This playlist has a huge variance in its rock music. Let's see. Boy, not making any extra money there. No open interest there. Wouldn't it be nice if we got that? No. If we do this, we'll have a break even at about 58.42. It's $10 below its current trading almost. It gives us 13% downside protection. We'd risk 250 to make 150. Our buying power is only going to tie up 250 bucks. This is a directional-ish trade, but as long as it stays above 60, we're okay. And it has to get down to $56 for us to lose all of our max profit, max loss, I mean. But that's if we get any fill. We probably won't, because we got 0 open interest at the 56. We've only got 7 open interests at the 60. I'm trying to squeeze an extra 50 cents on the mids. I don't think we're gonna get any fill on this. But in case we do, let's try and make $1,000 on it. Open up enough positions. Alright, I don't think we're going to get any fill on that, but it's there, it's working. It is 9:45. I'm going to say do check out theoptionsoracle.com and sens.org. One site will help you make more money. Then you can move the Bali if you want to. Okay, live better. And then when you get all that extra money, you can donate to live longer, healthier. If you cure aging, then your biggest problems are mosquitoes, cancer, and cars. And Tesla's fixing car accidents. Then we just have to worry about the cancer and the mosquitoes. But hey, we all have to worry about aging. So check out sens.org. Why not check it out? Just go watch a video. Okay? And do check out the Options Oracle. If you sign up, that helps our channel. I thank you guys for watching. We have a tip jar below if you're interested. We have a Discord channel. But I think most of you already have the invite. So let me go ahead and make one, in case anyone else is watching. Oh, I can log in. As soon as I get that Discord invite to you guys, I'm going to be signing off. If you guys are following along, we opened positions on Riot, and we're trying and working on apps. Do make sure to hit that like, subscribe button. That helps us out in the algorithm. And tell your friends. It is very hard to get discovered on this. And it's my least favorite thing, is trying to invite people and get them to the channel. If I post anything on Facebook, people are just so negative. Because it's coming, you know, I mean, you're just spamming them, right? It's just me saying, hey, come watch my channel. But if you say to a friend on your page or in a private message, this is a great channel, go watch them, that's a lot different than me saying, hey, go watch my own channel. So do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share. You guys have a wonderful night. See you in the Discord chat. Cheers. And next show is on Monday. No more shows on Friday. All right? Mondays and Wednesdays. See you on Monday.